Awesome. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Teresa Vanda. With me today on Tuesday Topics with Texas Hands and Voices is Michaela Hamaker, our Guide by Your Side coordinator, and our special guest with Providence Behavior Therapy. We have Heather Skeen and Emma Wermuth. And ladies, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves so that everyone gets to know you, because I know I won't do any justice to your bios if I try to do it live on Facebook. So let's start off with Michaela so everybody can get to know Michaela, and then we'll pass it along to Emma and Heather. Go ahead, Michaela.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela Hamaker. I am the Texas Hands and Voices Guide by Your Side coordinator, and I am happy to be here to learn today from Heather and Emma. So thank you for joining us for Tuesday Topics. If there's anything that the Guide by Your Side program can do to support you or your family in this journey of raising your deaf and hard of hearing child, feel free to reach out to me. I will be sure to include my my contact information in the Facebook post, and we'd be glad to get you set up with services through Guide by Your Side or help in any way we can do to connect you. All right, Heather and Emma.
Yeah, hi guys, thanks for having us. I'm Heather Skeen, the founder here at Providence Behavior Therapy. I'm also a licensed behavior analyst here in the state of Texas. So I'll just tell you a little bit about PBT. Sorry, Teresa, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I think there's an echo in the background, and maybe there's an extra computer or phone turned on because it's really hard to hear you guys. Can you check? Yeah, maybe we need to mute an extra device there, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We want everyone to hear it. Okay. All right, is that better? I think everything's turned off. We moved everything out of the way, so is that okay? All right, great. All right, thanks. Okay, so like I was saying, my name's Heather Skeen. I'm the founder here at Providence Behavior Therapy. I'll talk a little bit about PBT and some of our services, and then I'll turn it over to Emma, who's our speech therapist here. So I have been in the field of applied behavior analysis, or ABA. It's a very specific type of behavior therapy. I've been in the field since 2009, so it's about 12 years now. I started Providence Behavior Therapy almost 2 years ago. We recently moved into our office here in Northwest Austin. So we're located at, excuse me, 4131 Spicewood Springs Road. I really specialize in providing support to kids between 2 and 18 who have autism, ADHD, intellectual and developmental disabilities, co-occurring mood disorders, kids that have some aggressive or challenging behaviors, different things like that. So I have been learning and using American Sign Language since 2015 when I found out that my son was profoundly deaf. So I have, my son is almost 7. He's in 1st grade at TSD. So that's my connection here with the deaf and hard of hearing community. Let's see what else. Some of the services that we offer. So we do one-on-one behavior therapy. We offer family training or parent training sessions or caregiver sessions. So parents can work on utilizing some strategies when kids are having a hard time or they need some support for communication. We also offer IEP and ARD support services. So if you have questions about, for me, it would be, kids with behavior intervention plans or who need some extra behavior support. For Emma, it would be speech related, of course. We also do a free parent training, or a free parent support group every month. You don't need to receive services from us to sign up for that. And those are for parents who have kids with disabilities, primarily autism, but other disabilities are welcome as well. And let's see what else. And then I do offer periodic workshops or trainings that will pop up. And we also offer staff trainings. So that can be for schools, it can be for agencies, daycares, places like that. And that's kind of what we do in a nutshell on the behavior side. So I can turn it over to Emma and she can tell you all a little bit more about the speech side of things.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emma, and I am the speech language pathologist here at Providence Behavior Therapy. And I really found my passion for working with the deaf or hard of hearing population during my time at Purdue, getting my undergraduate degree, and just my desire to learn sign language. So which actually really drove me to become a speech pathologist. So I became Texas licensed in 2014 and have been state and nationally certified as well. And here at PBT, I work primarily with kiddos and adults with communication difficulties, so receptive, expressive language disorders, as well as those secondary diagnosis such as autism or ADHD, dyslexia, and I work primarily with kiddos, but also treat adults as well. I've got experience working with kiddos of deaf adults, kiddos that utilize technology, including hearing aids, BAHAs, cochlear implants, and just really enjoy supporting all different types of communities and people. So yeah, and here at PBT, we do mostly one-on-one speech services. And I really like to get parents and caregivers involved as well. So even though if we don't have specific parent training sessions, again, including those parents and caregivers in the session so that they know how to target goals, how to support their kiddo. I just think that that's really valuable to everybody and just to kind of work as a team together.
So let's talk a little bit about our screenings.
Yeah, so we are offering free screenings and they include language as well as speech, depending on the client's need. And so, but it's not solely focused on speech. And that's something important to remember, that just because an individual doesn't utilize their voice doesn't mean that they can't have that added support with language if they are struggling to just communicate in a variety, again, of modes, so ASL or English. So we are offering free screenings right now that is just a real quick kind of look at those kiddos' skills. And that way we can identify kiddos early and help to recommend if we need a full evaluation, and then possibly therapy services as well. The last day that we are offering those is on Thursday, this Thursday. So if you are interested, give us a call or email us. My email, you want me to provide that? Or?
You can, I mean, sure.
Okay, you can send me an email, emma@providencebehaviortherapy.com.
And then I'll just chime in and clarify. So the screenings are for CODAs, deaf and hard of hearing kids between the ages of 3 and 6. So if your kid falls outside of that and you're still interested, contact Emma. She can let you know some possible steps and next steps for that. But yes, our last day for that will be November 4th, this Thursday. And we still have some spots available. So we have a flyer. I know, Teresa, you guys shared it. It's on our Facebook page as well. But you can use our VP, you can use our phone number, you can email Emma. We have a few different options for you.
Yeah, this is Teresa. I'm going to go ahead and drop a picture of that flyer into the comment section for today's video. And if I ask you, I invite you to go in and just comment and add any other information that we might miss today, but we'll certainly add whatever contact information you would prefer to have, folks contact you on there. But I've just dropped the image, and you said it was free screenings for CODAs and deaf and hard of hearing children. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right.
Got that added there now.
Okay, great.
Well, tell us more about what a family might expect, I guess. Oh, Michaela, did you have a question?
There was a question here that we actually got. I would like to ask, they were wondering about the support group information, if you can share more about that and how they can get more information.
Yeah, so we have a page on our website that can give you some info as well at providencebehaviortherapy.com. You should see a little tab at the top that says Parent Support Group. You can reach out to me. I lead that. And actually our next one is Thursday as well. We have the screeners that day. And then that night, from 7:30 to 8:30, we'll meet virtually and go over some things. So this month I'll be talking about preparing for the holidays and some ways to kind of cope with some things that might not go as expected, or some things that we have to adjust when we have kids with disabilities during the holidays. So that'll be our topic, but you can reach out to me, Heather at providencebehaviortherapy.com, and I can give you more info.
This is Michaela. Thank you, Heather. We had a question for Emma. The question to Emma was, if there is a child who is not utilizing technology, do you work with them if they are ASL users on speech reading or lip reading practices or techniques?
My view is no. The answer to that question is no, but really, again, I prefer to do a whole team approach. My job is not to make those choices for those families. My job is to provide all of the information and to educate, not to force an opinion on a caregiver or on the child. So again, I really prefer to utilize that group approach and talk about just the needs of that kiddo and what they are exposed to in the home as far as languages and the support that they do have. And again, my job is just to educate and to help those parents not to make those choices for them. So I do support even my kiddos that I see that are hearing. I support even with ASL, because kiddos really, I found, using that multisensory approach where they're seeing it, those kiddos that are hearing, they're hearing it and doing it. So those kiddos that utilize ASL, the same thing. We want to be able to see it and to support them and doing those things and creating those experiences to facilitate communication.
I'll just chime in too and say how I met Emma was she provided speech services to my son, who is profoundly deaf, and he utilizes ASL and written English. He doesn't voice at all. So that's how we met. And she worked, I was, we talked about it before, but I was very skeptical kind of coming into speech therapy with my profoundly deaf son. And Emma was wonderful. And she's so wonderful, in fact, that I hired her to come work with me. So she does a really great job with that.
And that's something that I'm very cognizant of, that the deaf and hard of hearing communities have had very negative experiences with speech therapists and with speech and language therapy. So, my goal here is to hopefully change some of those stigmas that community has had, and again, just to better provide support and services for them.
Oh, thank you so much. It sounds so great. I'm having trouble dropping the image into the comment section, but I did add your email so that families can reach you. But I'll work on making sure that we get a link, or at least a link to your Facebook page, so families know exactly how to communicate with you all. I think it's so nice to hear, it's from, at least from you, Heather, that you're a parent. So you know exactly the experiences that, myself, Michaela, and other families out there go through trying to find resources that are, will help our children. And so to hear your personal experience, I mean, that just, I had completely forgotten until just now that you are a mom too of a deaf child. And so I really think that speaks volumes when you're trying to share information and resources about something out there that can help our families. And so I know that's going to be, that's going to have a huge impact on the families that are listening today. Is there anything else that we've missed, or you'd like to share, perhaps something else coming in the future with the therapy, with your program?
Yeah. So one thing I'd like to share, and it's been kind of a long process we were talking about before we got started, Teresa. I am hoping to, by the end of the year, to have a training I'm working with from someone from the statewide outreach center on deafness and behavior. So it's really going to be aimed at providers who are still gaining familiarity or maybe brand new to the deaf and hard of hearing community. So understanding how the deafness and behavior can kind of work together. So stay tuned for that. It's been a long process because of COVID, but we're hoping by the end of the year that's something we'll be able to share with people around the community.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And, I like the idea. I think you mentioned a few minutes ago, and I'm sorry, I may not have caught it all because I'm kind of handling some of the back end and technical stuff and just looking at things. But I know you mentioned something about providing, what to do, what not to do during holiday season. Maybe, I think that's such a great topic, especially as we move into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all of that. And so many of our families, they don't really forget, but they just, it's hard sometimes to make sure that our families are communicating well with our kiddos. I would love to have maybe you guys provide us with a little tidbit or video or something that could, we could share with our families or on Facebook. And so I would love to talk to you more about that because I think that is such an important topic as we move into the holiday season to ensure that our kids are being enriched with all of it as much as possible and how we can make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. We're happy to talk about that. I know there are lots of deaf creators too on Instagram and places like that really highlight how that feels and their personal perspectives with dealing with that. That's a really common thing I learned about since kind of being thrown into this community and trying to immerse myself in it is how difficult holidays can be for deaf kids and hearing families. And so I know that's something that I deal with. We have an upcoming trip to see extended family in another part of the States. And, I usually end up playing interpreter in a lot of those situations, which is frustrating. But, you get kind of stuck with it. So those are things we'll talk about in our parent support group this week, things we have to do that are different than we imagined or that are frustrating for us or things we have to cope with. In order to better accommodate our kids. So that'll be something we talk about this week.
Yeah, I think that's going to be amazing. I mean, I know that for myself, with my daughter, she's older now, but when she was little, we used to have to work really, really hard at getting our family to help to engage with her, and forcing her to kind of step outside of her comfort zone to make sure she was trying too to communicate and show everyone that she was there and wanted to be present in what was going on with our family. My daughter is the first deaf child born into our a completely hearing family. So it has been a learning process for us these last 15 years to ensure that our family knows what they need to do to make sure that she's included, in everything that we do. So extended family included, of course. So anyway, Michaela, did you have any closing questions or comments from anyone or from yourself?
This is Michaela. So we had a comment here from someone on Facebook that said they're very interested in learning about dyslexia in the deaf and hard of hearing population, and if that might be something your support group will address, or if there are other opportunities for that. And then they followed up by saying they will be contacting you via email if that is something that they can refer to you for.
Okay, sure. I'll kind of, that's more of an Emma thing. So I'll let Emma talk about the dyslexia a little bit.
Yeah, and was the question specifically for deaf or hard of hearing kiddo?
Yes, it was dyslexia in the deaf and hard of hearing population and in education.
In that situation, again, I would also want to consult with that kiddo's school because, again, we want to support not only on the medical side of things, but also that kiddo's education. So, again, want to work as a team and figure out where that kiddo's strengths are first and then build there. So, again, it's a little bit more of an involved answer. I would want to just know a little bit more about that specific kiddo and where the breakdowns are actually happening. But again, please feel free to contact me and we can chat about that and again try to find you some resources and the support that you guys need.
Yeah, so that's something that can be addressed in part through speech therapy, but there are people who specifically like specialize in dyslexia. So you'd want to get someone, and I don't know as much about that, but I know there are people who specialize in dyslexia. So you'd want to involve a professional like that as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
this the person watching live on Facebook said, thank you for taking the question. She will write to Emma. This child is cochlear implanted bilaterally, so she will be making contact with you, Emma, shortly.
Great.
Oh, fantastic.
And I also wanted to mention one cool thing that we're doing called Speech Tip Tuesdays,
Great.
where we are posting weekly on Instagram. And it's just a short little kind of tips and tricks that, again, a lot of speech therapists know and that we just kind of do naturally within our sessions, but that sometimes you just don't think of as a parent, and you're just so busy going about your day and, again, trying to get your kiddo from point A to point B. But again, just short little tips and tricks to help facilitate communication and support kiddos during activities that people are already doing. Again, my goal is never to add something extra to an already busy parent's day, but you're already going to be brushing teeth, you're already going to be getting dressed. So here are some tips and tricks on how you can help facilitate that communication, increase those language, vocabulary, all of those skills throughout your day of things that you're already doing. So feel free to check us out there as well. Speech Tip Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. In fact, I'm probably going to go look now as soon as we get done here today and start sharing that too. Make sure to, I would love to have you guys back in the spring again, possibly. So just let us know when you have time to come on. I think this is a great topic to share. And I know that you serve families, outside of Austin too, and when possible. So, and we're a statewide agency, but I think this is important. Our families need to know what resources are available. Some of us live in really small communities, and we do have to branch out and go to the larger cities sometimes to find the help that we need. And so thank you so much for coming on today. You guys are fantastic. You're doing amazing work for our kids, and we truly appreciate you taking the time today to come join us on Tuesday Topics. So I guess that's it for today, guys, unless there's something, last minute comments. Michaela?
No, you were great to point out about there being virtual opportunities for some of these therapies. So I wanted to make that known to our population again. Although Emma and Heather are in the Austin area, they are able to provide some telehealth, telepractice services to you and your family. So feel free to contact them if this might be a good fit for you.
That sounds great. Thank you guys so much for inviting us. And yeah, we can follow up and find another time to visit again.
Yes, definitely. We'll definitely do that. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining Tuesday Topics. Be sure to follow Heather and Emma on their Facebook page and Instagram. Like you said, they have their Tuesday tidbits. We also have our Tuesday Topics once a month. And you can find Texas Hands and Voices on Instagram, Facebook. We tweet, we have a website as well. And all of that information, of course, will be shared on today's video post. So be sure to look there for more information. Thank you again. And we're signing off. Thanks again for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.